Yo, what up, though? So, what would you give the Minnesota Vikings right now after free agency, man? Do they get an a B, or a C, or a D? Or you ain't like the free agency at all, they get an F. If you ain't like that free agency, man, you can't be a Vikings fan because the Vikings went crazy in this free agency, man. I would give the Vikings a clean B. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Daniil Hunter left the Minnesota Vikings, and they knew he wasn't going to re-sign. And the Vikings went out and got younger at the defensive end spot, man. They signed Jonathan Gennard from Houston, Texas. Last year had 12 and a half sacks, if I'm not mistaken. But he only 26 years old, man. And Brian Flores is now his defensive coordinator, man. And the Vikings also signed two linebackers. We knew we needed linebackers for depth and to play for the Minnesota Vikings, man. They signed Blake Cashman from the Houston, Texas, and they signed Minnesota own, man, I can't pronounce his name, Andrew Van Ginkel, AVG, shit, a linebacker from Miami. He had a good season with the Miami Dolphins, man. He had 68 tackles, an interception, and he was a tackling machine for the Miami Dolphins. So the Vikings did good with that on defense. And we also signed a quarterback to replace Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins went to sign with the Atlanta Falcons, man. We signed Sam Darnold. That was an okay pick. But Sam, no, he just honed it down until the rookie quarterback is ready to play in the NFL, man. And we signed running back from the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Jones. I like that pick for real. I like Aaron Jones. I still think Aaron Jones is a nice running back. I think Aaron Jones is a better running back compared to Josh Jacobs, and the Minnesota Vikings signed Aaron Jones. The Minnesota Vikings went crazy in this free agency, man. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I like the free agency a lot, man. Even though they ain't signed no defensive tackles, that's why I got a ass a beat. They could have got an A, but they still could get an A probably if they sign the X 49ers Armstrong. He's still out there. Vikings need to make that call before the Houston Texans do, man. But the Vikings did good in this free agency, man. And we also got a kicker, man. We got a kicker from the XFL who had a couple stops with teams in the NFL, man. His name is John Parker Romo. I don't know if I'm feeling that, man. His last name Romo. I don't know about that one though, but they did get a kicker though. So the Vikings did good, man. In the free agency, I can't lie to y'all, man. And we re-signed a lot of players too, though. The Vikings re-signed two offensive linemen. Brandon Powell will be wide receiver number 3. I like that. I like Brandon Powell a lot. And the Vikings did good, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. I like their free agency, man. They ain't get too wild or get too pretty or none of that. They just handled the business and took care of needs, man. And we also re-signed our defensive lineman, Jonathan Bowler. I'm just saying we re-signed him too, though. He played okay, but he back in purple and gold. But overall, though, the Vikings did good in the free agency, man. Like, you can't get mad. Only thing you might get mad at that the Vikings ain't signed no damn defensive tackles, and I feel y'all with that. That's why I say in the NFL draft, the Vikings will mainly focus on defensive tackle and probably offensive guard and quarterbacks for real. Cause everything else got filled. And we re-signed Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith is back with the Minnesota Vikings, man. And he took a pay cut. He got a $9 million cap hit this year compared to $19 million. So that was good. Even though I wanted Harrison Smith to be gone, but he will be back for another year wearing the purple and gold, man. But the Vikings, they did good. I can't get mad at the Viking free agency, man. I can't get mad. I can't bash them or talk bad about them. And I like that because I don't like talking bad about my team for real, man. I like they making smart moves in free agency, and they got a lot of defensive players, and they know we need help on the defensive line and at the linebacker core. Like, our linebacker core was hit, and they did that. All we got to do now is just focus on defensive tackle. Go out in the NFL draft you about 2 good defensive tackles, and the Vikings defense is back. Our defense is back. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I got faith in Brian Flores, and I got faith in the players they brought in free agency, man, because the people they brought in, they can play defense. They can ball. And the Vikings also got younger on defense. You got to applaud to that. Besides the Harrison Smith re-signing, I ain't really get that. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Harrison Smith should have been a damn safety or DB coach or some shit if they want him around. But he back on the football team, And the Vikings did good in this free agency, man. So y'all tell me in the comment section below, what grade would y'all give the Minnesota Vikings after this free agency, man?